Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. So in today's video, we're going to be playing with drugstore makeup and high-end makeup. And I actually have both of them on my face right now. So one side is drugstore and affordable products and the other side is high-end products. But yes, this is going to be super fun. And if you love drugstore products and if you love high-end products, I'm pretty sure you're going to love this video. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I created this look using all drugstore and also high-end products on separate sides, then let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so I just realized I did my brows with one brow pencil instead of doing a drugstore and a high-end. So the brow pencil that I used was the Covergirl brow, the Easy Breezy Brow Define pencil in the shade Soft Brown. So that's what's on my brows now. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and prime the face. So this side we're gonna do drugstore and this side we're gonna do high-end. So I finally picked up the NYX Angel Veil primer since so many of you were recommending this primer, so I went ahead and picked it up. And then I'm also going to be using the Too Faced Hangover primer, which you guys know this is my holy grail primer. So some of you said that this is very similar to the Hangover primer, so we're going to go ahead and see. I haven't used this one yet, so let's shake it up. Take the little seal off and let's try this out. Oh, so it does come out white. I'm not going to put too much, but I just want to see how it feels on the skin. It definitely doesn't feel like the Too Faced primer. It feels really like, I don't know, it feels different. It says it's a Angel Veil primer. Treat your skin to this velvety oil-free primer. Okay, that's what it feels like. It feels like velvet. The Too Faced Hangover primer feels like a legit moisturizer. This feels very similar to the Hourglass. What is that primer called? It's by Hourglass. And it has that same texture and it does look white. Kind of like the Hourglass, but I don't know. It definitely doesn't feel like a hangover primer, so this may not be a good dupe. So now we're gonna go on this side and use the Too Faced Hangover primer, which is my favorite. See how it just soaks into, like, it doesn't look white when I'm putting it on my face. It just looks like a legit moisturizer. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna continue using this primer. My first impression wasn't it wasn't what I expected it to be. But I do want to continue using it to see if I really like it. So we're going to go ahead and set those to the side. Now we're going to go ahead and spot conceal. And I like to do this because I do have a few dark spots on my face from breakouts. And I am breaking out like crazy right now because it is that time of the month. So for the drugstore side, we're going to take the Rimmel London Lasting Finish Breathable Concealer. This is what it looks like. So this is in the shade Dark 600. You just squeeze it up and it comes out on the little sponge, but I'm just gonna take my finger and just dot everywhere that I have dark spots on my face on this side. Just kind of pat it in just to kind of blend it out. And then going in with my Too Faced Born This Way. This is in the shade Toffee. You guys know I've been talking about this concealer for a while now, so we're just gonna place that and blend it out. I usually use my sponge. I don't know why I'm not using my sponge to tap this in, but we're just gonna use my finger for now. So for the drugstore side, we're gonna take the Maybelline Super Stay Foundation. I'm in the shade 355 Coconut. And then for the high-end side, I'm gonna take the Cover FX Power Play Foundation. Now I feel like these are both similar in a way. The Maybelline foundation is a matte foundation, and then the Cover FX is also a matte, but once I blend them out on the face, they kind of look the same. Now the colors may look different, but I feel like the texture of the foundation, like it looks the same on the face. It gives me the same coverage. So I just feel like the Maybelline Super Stay is a good alternative to the Cover FX. So let's go ahead and apply these. All right, so this is what the drugstore side is looking like so far. I love this foundation, you guys. I love how it gives me such a good coverage, but it doesn't look too cakey on the skin. So there is Maybelline. Now let's go ahead and switch it up to this side. And I'm actually gonna be using two different sponges so that way we won't mix up the product. And I don't think I told you guys what shade the Cover FX foundation is. This is in the shade G100. All right, so this is what Cover FX is looking like. So we have Cover FX Power Play, and then we have the Maybelline Super Stay. They're both giving me good coverage. They both look matte on my skin. This brow looks darker than this one. Let me fix that. All right, so this next part I am super excited about because we're gonna be playing with the concealers that I feel like are dupes. So the Born This Way foundation, not the foundation, but the concealer in the shade Chestnut, and the Flower Beauty concealer in the shade Deeps. Only thing about the one by Flower Beauty is I wish that they would expand the shades because this is the darkest shade. So we'll start out with this side. Wait, this side right here is the high-end side. So let me go ahead and apply a little bit of this concealer on this side. And then going to the drugstore side, we'll go ahead and apply the Flower Beauty concealer. This is just a little bit lighter than the one by Too Faced. But as far as the coverage, I feel like they're very similar. So for the drugstore side, we're taking the e.l.f. Cosmetics Beauty Shield Setting Powder. This is in the shade Sheer Golden. And then for the high-end side, we're going to take the Too Faced Born This Way Setting Powder in the shade Translucent Medium. Now the one by Too Faced is a little bit more golden than the one by e.l.f. Cosmetics, but they both are very similar in a way. So they both do a great job with setting my concealer. They don't allow it to crease throughout the day. They make everything look soft and airbrush, and there's no flashback with these. So we'll go ahead and start out with e.l.f. and put this on the drugstore side. Lately, I've been like using my sponges to apply setting powder. You guys know I usually apply it with my brush, but I don't know what it is, but I like applying setting powder with a sponge now. Now picking up my Too Faced Born This Way setting powder. Now that I'm applying it on the face, it actually, like the color, you can't really tell a difference. All right, so far this is what everything is looking like. Drugstore side, high-end side. Let me know if you guys can tell a difference so far. But so far I honestly don't see a difference. But now I want to apply all over face powder. For the drugstore side, we're going to be using the NYX No Filter powder in the shade Deep Golden. And then for the high-end side, well, this is actually not a high-end setting powder, but I wanted to switch it up this time because I'm always using a different one to comparing it to this one, and that is by Sephora. This is the Sephora Baked Smooth, the Micro Smooth Baked Face Compact in the shade Deep. So the other powder that I always compare to the NYX No Filter powder is my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. So I wanted to switch it up since the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish is very similar to the Sephora one. So we're gonna put these two on the face. And I need clean brushes. Let me get these two right here because I need clean brushes. By the way, these brushes are from my brush set. These are the powder brushes, which are my favorite. I feel like the more you use these, the better they get, but I'm gonna go ahead and apply the NYX No Filter powder on this side. And I like to apply this pretty much around the perimeter of my face, so everywhere that I did not apply setting powder. So right here in the cheek area, around the jawline, and also around the temple of my forehead. So that's pretty much where I like to apply this powder. And then once I get done doing that, I like to take the brush and kind of go around the eye area since most of the product is already on my face, just to kind of even everything out. Now going in with the Sephora powder, we're gonna place it on this side. Once I heard the rumors that they were gonna discontinue this powder, I went ahead and picked up 2 extra ones, and every time I go on the Sephora website, this shade is sold out. So I don't know if the rumors were true that they were discontinuing it, but if it was, I did go ahead and stock up on this stuff. All right, now moving on to bronzer. I have one by e.l.f. Cosmetics, and I also have one by Anastasia Beverly Hills. So the one by e.l.f. is in the shade Deep, and then the one by Anastasia is in the shade Mahogany. Let me go ahead and hold them up side by side so you guys can see them, but they are very, very similar. So the shades, like the shade is like spot on. The only difference is the one by e.l.f., it looks like it has a little bit of shimmer in it, but you can't see it when you apply it on the face. And then the one by Anastasia, this one is all matte, so you don't really have shimmer in it, like none whatsoever, but they both look very similar on the skin. I'm running out of brushes to use. So the one that I have been using with my Anastasia bronzer is already dirty, but I'm gonna go ahead and use a new brush with the e.l.f. So these are my angled contour brushes from my brush set. So we'll start out with Anastasia on this side. And then going into e.l.f. on the other side. Now this bronzer by e.l.f. is super pigmented, so you wanna be very light-handed with this. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do the blush, the highlighter, and the lips last. Now let's move on to the eyeshadows. And I have two palettes that look just like each other. So the one that I have is by Natasha Denona. You guys know this is a very expensive eyeshadow palette. This is the Star palette, and Bad Habit just came out with their new palette. It's called the Divine palette, which I have it right here. You can get this on shophush.com. I believe it's available on their app though, but I will have all the information down below in my description. But if you guys are familiar with the Natasha Denona palette, you guys already know, like, this thing is not cheap, but this is what the inside looks like. Very pretty, very pretty. I think I've done a video or two on this palette in the past. I got this about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. And the one by Bad Habit, let me go ahead and show you, like, let me just show you this palette. Like, this is spot on. Like, this is a dupe to the Natasha Denona palette. Look at that. Very similar. Let me put them side by side so you guys can see them better. These are dupes. I don't care what anybody says. These are like dupes. Every shade in the Star palette is in the Divine palette. Like, they're just positioned differently in here, but every shade in here is in this palette. $169, $16. Which one would you get? So I don't know what look I'm gonna go for, but we will start out with the Natasha Denona, and this is the high-end side. I have to remember which side is which, but yeah, this is the high-end side. I would hate to mess that up. But I'm gonna start out with my crease color, and I wanna take this maroon shade right here. So this one right here will go in the crease, and I am gonna be using separate brushes for each palette. So I'm just gonna place this in the crease. Don't know what we're going for, but we're just gonna wing it like we always do. I believe I've dipped my brush in the palette about 3 times already. I think 3 or 4 times already. But I want to show you guys how, like, the differences between the two. So this is my, I guess, 4th time dipping my brush. I forgot how many, but once I start editing the video, I'll see how many times I did it. But I believe this is the 4th time dipping the brush in the palette. But this is how intense this color can get. So the shadows in the Natasha Denona palette are definitely buildable. So you can go for a very soft, you know, airbrushed look, or if you wanted to build it up to a deeper color, you can just build that shade up more and more, dipping into it again just to darken it up some more, because I want this to be very bold. Now let's move on to the Bad Habit palette. I'm gonna pick up that same shade, switch out my brush because I don't want to mix the product. But going into the Bad Habit palette, that same shade is right here. Place that on the brush. Ooh, this is intense. It is a lot of kick up though, but ooh, that is intense. Dipping it in there again and putting more on the crease. Look how intense this color is. Like, I feel like I may not have to dip my brush in as much as I did with the Natasha palette, because this color is very intense, like super pigmented, definitely blends out really good. I feel like the palettes from Bad Habit, they're not bad at all. Like, they're not bad. They do have some hit and misses, but The pigmentation is definitely there. But they're actually really good and they blend out really good on the eyes. But to be completely honest, there is like little to no fallout with the Natasha Denona shadows. The mattes, you don't experience a lot of fallout, but with the metallics in that palette, there is a ton of fallout. I do want to dip into some metallics, so going back to the Natasha palette, but this gold, which is absolutely pretty, a ton of fallout though, but I'm gonna place this on the center of the lid. But first I want to apply some primer. I've really been loving the Fenty Beauty eyeshadow primer. I'm actually gonna apply this on both sides because I don't have a drugstore eyeshadow primer, but it's okay. We're gonna go ahead and apply this on both sides of the eyes, but first I'm just gonna apply it right here, and then we will apply it on the other eye in a few minutes. But yeah, I've really been liking this primer. It's like really nice. I like how it's not too, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it does get really tacky on the eye, so that just allows the shadows to stick and last longer. But I have been really enjoying this primer. Now I'm gonna take that gold that we placed the finger in and just tap it. Ooh, that is pretty. Just tap it all over the lid. Now I'm gonna pick up a different brush. This is a random brush from a Lorac palette and dip into that same color that we used in the crease. And I'm just gonna pack it right here on the outer part of the eye, kind of blend that into the gold. Actually, I'm gonna flip the brush over. So this does have two sides, and go back into that shade because I feel like the smaller side is better. Yeah, that's so much better. Kind of like a halo eye, but I feel like I'm doing it so backwards, but hey, whatever works for you. I'm gonna take my eyeliner brush. This is also from my brush set. It's just a nice slanted little brush that you can use to apply gel liner. But I'm gonna take this and go into this rose gold shimmery, can't explain the color, but let me put it on my finger right here. So it's kind of like a really pretty, like a champagne rose gold color, but I'm gonna take this brush, dip it into that, and I'm also gonna spray it too because I don't want this to mess up my look. But anyway, I'm gonna take that and put this right where the crease is. So just kind of cut all of that out. Use it to just kind of cut the crease a little bit. Just drag it right there in the crease. Now I'm gonna do the same thing to this side using the Bad Habit Divine palette. First, I want to prime the lid. We don't want to forget about doing that. I feel like this primer makes a huge difference. I never really use primers on my lids because I always go in with my concealer and then blend it out. But now that I've been using this, like, this makes a huge difference with my eyeshadow. All right, now going into the shade right here, which is the same exact shade that was in the Natasha palette. I'm gonna use my finger just like we did. Ooh, you guys, this is so silky. Like, there's no crumbling of the shadow, there's no fallout. This is very silky. Like, look how pretty that is. I'm just gonna tap it on the lid. Look at that, it's the same color, like the same color. Now I'm gonna take this little brush by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is from one of the palettes by ABH, and go into that very first shade we used, which is this one right here, and do the same thing that we did on this eye. So I'm gonna take the flat side and place this right here on the outer part of the lid and kind of blend it in to that first shade. And now going into this top shade right here, which is very similar to the shade that we put in the crease. Let me swatch them side by side so you guys can see it. So there they are side by side. They look the same. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and apply my lashes, my mascara, and we're gonna go ahead and finish up this look with the blush, the highlight, and the lips. So I'll be right back. All right, so I went ahead and applied my lashes. I don't have a drugstore and a high-end lash that look very similar, so I went ahead and popped on the lashes by Bellamy, and these are in the style Seeing Double. These are the lashes that I have been wearing so many times recently on my channel. But now let's go ahead and apply some blush. So for the drugstore blush, I'm gonna take the e.l.f. blush in the shade Always Spicy. You guys know I talk about this so much on my channel. I use it all the time and I just can't get enough of this blush. And I was actually digging through my collection to see if I had a high-end blush that looks very similar to this, and I found one. This is one I haven't even used yet. I've had it for about going on 2 years now, which is bad. And that is this limited edition palette by MAC, which I don't know why I haven't used this, but it has Whisper of Guilt, and it also have a blush in here called, what is it called? Pleasure Model. I don't know if they sell a single blush in this same shade. They probably do, but I need to go ahead and use this anyway instead of just having it sitting in my collection without using it. So I'll go ahead and try this out. I feel like these look very similar. I don't have any other high-end blush that looks similar to this one besides the one by Sigma Beauty, and that is the Corday Rosa blush, but it's a little bit lighter than this. But I felt like the one from MAC looks spot on. Like, it looks just like the one from e.l.f. So this side we're gonna apply e.l.f. and then this side we're gonna apply MAC. So let me apply this side. Now, I don't know where my other Too Faced brush is. I like to use this brush for my blush. I don't know where my other one is, so I'm just gonna wipe off that first blush that we use into this one. I don't know why I haven't used this blush, you guys. Like, this is really, really pretty. This whole palette is really cute. And it is limited edition, but I mean, I bought it, I should use it anyway. So the color is spot on. You cannot tell a difference. I know I can't tell a difference. I'm gonna go ahead and spray my face with setting spray. So this side, I'm gonna use the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, and this side, I'm gonna use the new ColourPop All Star setting spray. Since my face looks a little powdery, I wanna go ahead and spray it just a little bit. But not too much because I don't wanna mess up my makeup. So for highlighter, I'm gonna go in this side with the Makeup Forever highlighter, and we're gonna take this one right here. This shade looks just like the highlighter by Makeup Revolution. It's their Shimmer Brick. So once you mix all of these shades together, it looks just like this shade right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this one first, and I'm using my Milani highlighter brush. I have been obsessing over this brush lately, you guys. You can definitely pick it up from Walmart, but look how pretty this highlighter is. Oh, is this a high-end side? Then I'm gonna flip the brush over to the other side and dip into the Makeup Revolution. This is in the shade, does it say? Rose Gold, yeah. But if you just mix these shades right here all together and then apply it on the face, the color is very similar to Makeup Forever. So you have drugstore and then you have high-end. Now, I forgot to do a step. I usually go in the inner corner of the eyes and just place a little bit of highlight, like a highlighter shade. So going back into the Bad Habit Divine palette, I'm gonna pick up this frosty pink shade right here. It's really pretty. It's like a really light frosted pink. And just place this on the center. Is this? Yeah, this is the drugstore side. Just place it right here. I think I have to wet this because it's not coming off good. Just wet it and then place it right there on the center. I don't know how I feel about that color though. Let me go on top of that with this gold that we used in the middle of the lid. That just kind of toned that white down because I didn't care for that white. I don't know why I just didn't start out with the gold first. All right, now we're finally down to the very last step, which is the lips. So I have two lip liners that look just like each other. So one is by Essence. You guys know I am a huge fan of Essence I love their mascaras, I love their lipsticks, and also their lip liners. This is in the shade Soft Berry. And then for the high end, I have a lip liner by Kat Von D. This is in the shade, what is it, Hawkwind. So let me go ahead and swatch these side by side so you guys can see them. But this one by Essence, like, is so creamy and smooth. And then the one by Kat Von D is also similar. So let me go ahead and swatch those. But there they are side by side. Look very, very similar. So I'm going to go ahead and put Essence on this side and then Kat Von D on this side. And then for the lipsticks on the drugstore side, we're gonna use this lipstick by Milani. This is in the shade Teddy Bear. And then for the high-end side, we're gonna take the shade 1993 by Urban Decay. And these are also like pretty much the same color. I have highlighter everywhere, but let me swatch Urban Decay, and then we have Milani. So there they are swatched right there. Alright, so this is the completed look. Let me know if you guys can see a difference. I honestly cannot see a difference now that I'm looking at everything in the mirror and also in my viewfinder. I honestly cannot tell which side is drugstore and which side is the high-end side. And this just goes to show that you don't have to go out and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on makeup, you guys. Now, some of the products that I did use you can't find in your local drugstore, like the Bad Habit palette. You are gonna have to buy that palette online, and I can't remember any other products that I used that you can't find in the drugstore, but it is affordable. It's $16 compared to the Natasha Denona palette, which is $169. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys want to see another video like this. This is actually my second one this year that I've done. Let me know, and I will definitely do another one for you guys. But yes, I think that is all that I have for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you thumbs it up if you did enjoy it. Make sure you are subscribed if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.